While the Yayoi period is much shorter than the previous Jomon period, the people of Japan saw a tremendous amount of advancement and cultural changes. The reasons for the abrupt transformation of society have been debated throughout the years, but few can doubt that the shift from hunting and gathering to full-scale agriculture brought about a drastically different culture than the one that existed before. Innovations in metallurgy, farming, and political structure forever impacted life in Japan and formed the foundation on which the many ages of Japanese history would be built. The transformation between the Jomon to Yayoi periods occurred sometime before 300 BC and lasted until approximately 300 to 500 AD. Archaeological evidence points to frequent migrations and exchanges between Japan and the Korean peninsula, and during this time the people of Japan began to adopt many of the practices and technologies found on the Asian continent at the time. Artifacts found in the region prove that a great deal of trade existed between Japan, Korea, and China, and that there may have been a gradual blending between the indigenous population and immigrants from neighboring countries. Some have also referenced the Kojiki and Nihon Shoki for historical references about the significance of this transitional period. These ancient texts recount the story of the first Emperor Jimmu, who reigned around 660 BC, establishing the imperial house of Japan. According to legend, Jimmu and his siblings migrated to Yamato from southern Kyushu and brought the knowledge of rice cultivation, which was passed down from his great-grandfather Ninigi, grandson of the sun goddess Amaterasu. The Jomon period was characterized by a semi-sedentary culture dependent on hunting, gathering, and fishing with only a small amount of crop cultivation. During the Yayoi period, society became largely agricultural. A focus on irrigated wet rice methods of cultivation made land ownership important, and class divisions and political complexities soon emerged. Bronze and iron tools and weapons also brought advancements in both farming and military capabilities. The new technologies and settled life brought with it a substantial population increase, which rose to around 4 million by the start of the Yayoi period. Soon, land expansion and protection of property became important, and relationships with neighboring families became more complex. By 100 CE, there were already more than 100 clans established in various regions throughout Japan. The developments that emerged during the Yayoi period have greatly influenced Japanese history. Not only did it form the farming and agricultural practices that sustained Japan through the ages, but it also birthed the beginnings of the clans and kingdoms. From which the daimyo and samurais would one day rise. Much of medieval Japan took inspiration from the Yayoi era, particularly its political structure, metalworking skills, and military strength. Japan has been through many transformations since the Yayoi period ended in 300 CE, but the roots of modern-day Japanese culture still reach to the Yayoi for much of its inspiration.